Hey, my name is John Bontron. I've been a meat cutter for almost 20 years, and the most commonly asked question I get is, Johnny, what's for dinner? So for dinner tonight, you're having prosciutto, brie, and cranberry stuffed chicken breast, sriracha green beans with red pepper, brown rice with almond and turmeric. Dinner shouldn't take all night, and your family can be well fed and happy. So the first thing you're going to want to do to get this meal started is when you get home, put your rice on. It needs to come to a boil and then simmer for 30 minutes. I pre-measured my rice, 3/4 cup of brown rice to 1.5 cups of water. Should give you 4 servings. Put your rice in your pot. A little water. Quick stir. And let's get our heat on. So the next thing you want to do is add about 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric to the water as it's coming to a boil. Turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory, and it's going to add a beautiful, even flavor and color to your rice. The next thing you want to do is add a little Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan sea salt is very smooth, nice, even texture, and it'll balance the flavor of the rice. Now the rice is on and starting to boil. What you want to do is you want to get your chicken ready and in the oven, because once the rice goes on to simmer, we'll put the chicken in the oven and they should come out and be ready at the same time. That way you're only about 30 minutes from eating dinner. So the first thing you want to do is take your chicken breast. If you're not comfortable with using a knife, talk to your local meat cutter, ask them to cut a pocket in it. It's not too hard though. Press firmly, and with the tip of your knife, cut a pocket inside your chicken breast. So the next thing you want to do is cut your Brie cheese. I like to trim the end off and cut it about halfway so you have a nice even square, and then cut yourself a nice even portion. First you want to place your prosciutto in there. Put a piece of the Brie and take some cranberries. Now you've got the nice salty flavor from the prosciutto, the creamy Brie, and the sweet cranberries. After you've stuffed it, placed it in the pan, grab another piece of prosciutto, cut yourself off another piece of cheese, a little more cranberry, tuck and roll, a little salt and pepper, and you're good for the oven. So you want to put it in the oven at 400 degrees. And that should take about 25 to 30 minutes. So after you've washed your hands, you want to come back and start prepping your vegetables, your green beans, your onions, and your peppers for the pot. These are Japanese long green bean. I found these in the grocery store today. They look beautiful and fresh. We're going to use those for our dinner. So the first thing you want to do is chop all the ends off of them. And get those to the side. And you want to cut them in about 3-inch long pieces. Putting them off to the side. You want to cut your onions last so you're not contaminating the board and the beans and everything with the raw onion flavor. Get down to the end and you're ready for your peppers. What you want to do, cut them in half, pull the core out, get the seeds, and then you're going to cut them into long finger-sized strips about the same diameter as your green beans. You want everything to cook at the same speed at the same time so it all comes out nice and al dente. So for this amount of beans, you want to use 2 to 3 small red peppers. Quickly pulling the cores out. I like to use coconut oil. When I cook this dish, it gives you a nice flavor, a nice aroma in the kitchen, and it has a higher heat threshold than olive oil does, so you don't get any scorching as you're cooking and taking away from the flavors of your dish. The next you want to grab the onion, Cut about 1/3 of the onion off. Peel the skin. And then from the side, so you get nice long slivers, quickly cut through your onion, and you're almost ready to put this dish in the pot. So your rice is almost ready. What you want to do is you want to get your beans on. I'm just going to tidy up from preparing my rice, and we'll get those beans cooking. So we're going to bring around that board of beans, peppers, and onions that we had prepared, and we're going to switch up the pots and keep that rice simmering on the back burner. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get some coconut oil into the pot. Your burner's already warm, so the coconut oil is going to melt quickly. And once that coconut oil is rendered down, you're going to start to smell the aroma from the coconut. You want to put your onions in there. Break them up a little bit. And we're going to get those sauteing and starting to sweat a little bit to start your beans. So now our onions are ready. You can smell an amazing coconut onion smell in the kitchen. We're going to add our peppers and our green beans to the pot. Get those all mixed up, coated up with the coconut oil and the onion. You've got the beautiful diverse flavors and the colors. You've got the red and the green. It's a very presentable dish. And once we've got it all blended together, we're going to add some tamari. Tamari is a gluten-free soya sauce, and you want to add about a teaspoon of the tamari in there. You're going to hear it start to sizzle on the bottom of the pot. Give everything a good mix, and you're going to want to get the lid back on the pot for 10 to 15 minutes. That's going to get your beans and your peppers to a nice al dente texture, ready for your meal. Okay, so your beans are almost ready. What you want to do is you want to pull your chicken out of the oven. We're going to add a little Italian seasoning, some sea salt, and we're going to let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. The cheese is going to tighten up. You're going to save all the juice and the moisture that you've cooked into it, and the chicken's good to go. Okay, so your chicken's out of the oven, and the last thing you need to do, your rice is ready, is add your sriracha sauce to your beans and your peppers. You want to put about a tablespoon in there. The sriracha sauce you put in the end, it's going to glaze the beans up and give it a nice thick sauce. Now we're going to leave the lid off, and any excess moisture in the bottom is going to evaporate off. So now as you're stirring them, make sure all the beans and the peppers get coated up. And you're going to hear the sizzle on the bottom of the pot as everything gets nice and thick and ready to be served. So my rice is done. That tells me that it's been 30 minutes since we've started cooking, and now it's time to plate and feed your family. Put it on the cutting board, and you're going to cut it into about 3/4 inch slices. It's going to allow you to have a nice look at the cheese and the prosciutto and the cranberry inside. Each person should get about 4 nice slices. Then we're going to put some beans on that plate. And finish with some rice. Add a little bit of almond for texture, and dinner's ready.
Thanks, that was great.
You're welcome. And that's dinner. Thanks for watching. I'm John Bontron, and this has been Hey Johnny, What's for Dinner?